All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going undercover into the German language. We're about to crack a secret code that's been hiding in plain sight. You know that feeling, right? When you're reading German and the sentence just seems to play keep away with the verb. Well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's get into it. So, have you ever wondered about this? I mean, you're listening to a German sentence, it's all making sense, you're following along, and then bam, the verb you were expecting just vanishes, only to reappear like way at the very end. What is going on there? Is it just random, a cosmic joke designed to trip us up? Well, here's the big reveal. It's not a mistake. Not at all. In fact, it's a very deliberate, rule-based system. But calling it a grammar rule is kind of boring, right? Let's call it what it is, a secret code. And today, you and we're going to learn how to crack it. Okay, so these little words that activate the code, the linguists call them subordinating conjunctions. Yeah, I know, it's a total mouthful. So we're going to give them a much cooler name. Let's call them verb kickers, because that's literally what they do. They're these special trigger words, and when you see one, it sets off a very specific action. So consider this your mission briefing. Your job is to master these verb kickers. All right, let's get down to the briefing. Here it is, the one golden rule you need to remember. When you spot one of our verb kicker words, it always introduces its own little mini sentence or clause. And it takes the main verb of that clause and just boots it all the way to the end. That's it. That's the whole secret. Simple, right? Okay, time to open up our spy toolkit. Let's look at our first set of gadgets. These are your bread and butter tools for intel gathering. You know, for reporting what people are saying, what they're thinking, or the questions they're asking. So the first two gadgets in your kit are das, which just means that, and ob, which means if or whether. You'll use das for reporting what someone said and ob for reporting a yes or no question someone asked. They seem simple, but trust me, they are super powerful. Let's deploy one of these gadgets and see what happens. Take this sentence. Ich denke, dass wir Deutsch lernen müssen. The first part, ich denke, is simple enough. I think. But then we see our verb kicker, das. It kicks off the second part of the sentence, and what does it do? It finds that verb, müssen, and kicks it all the way to the end. See how that works? The verb kicker does its job every single time. Now let's try the ob gadget. Fragt, ob du Zeit hast. What's really cool here is thinking about the original question. Someone literally asked, hast du Zeit? Do you have time? See how the verb hast is right at the beginning? But as soon as we report that question using ob, that little gadget goes to work and kicks hast to the very end of its clause. It completely reshapes the sentence. Okay, you've mastered the basics. Time for an upgrade. This next set of gadgets is all about time and sequence. This is crucial stuff for planning an infiltration or, just telling a story about what you did last weekend. It's all about getting the timing right. So, in this category, we've got während, which means while. You use this when two things are happening at the exact same time. Then you've got bevor, which means before. Pretty straightforward. This is for putting events in the right order. Like I said, timing is everything. Check out this example. Ich rede nicht, während ich fahre. So the main statement is, I don't talk. Okay, but when don't I talk? While I am driving. Those two things are happening simultaneously. So we bring in our verb kicker während, and true to form, what does it do? It kicks the verb fahre all the way to the end. See? It just works. Okay, pay attention because this next part is mission critical. This is a trap that gets a lot of people. In German, you have two words that can mean when, als and wenn, and you cannot mix them up. Here's the deal. You use als for a single, one-time only event in the past. Think when I was 10 or when I met my partner, it happened once. For literally everything else, repeated actions, future events, if-when conditions, you use wenn. Got it? One time in the past, else, everything else, wenn. And here's a perfect example. Als ich nach Hause kam, regnete es. My coming home on this specific day, that was a one-time event. It happened, it's over. So we have to use als. And of course, being a verb kicker, what does als do? It finds its verb come and kicks it right to the end of its clause before the main action even starts. Perfect. All right, agent, you're doing great. Let's get into the advanced gadgets. This is where we start expressing more complex ideas, like contingency plans and the purpose behind our actions. First up, we have falls. Think of this as your just-in-case gadget. It's for things that might happen. Then we have damit, which means so that. This one is all about explaining the why, the purpose or goal of an action. Here's a super practical one. Nimm einen Schirm mit, falls es regnet. Take an umbrella. Why? Just in case it rains. It might not, but falls covers that possibility. And since it's a verb kicker, it does its duty and sends regnet, rains, to the end. Now look closely at this one with damit. Spricht langsam, damit wir ihn verstehen. He speaks slowly. For what purpose? So that we can understand him. See that? The person speaking is he, but the people understanding are we. The subject changes. That's the key job of damit. And, as always, the verb of its clause, verstehen, gets kicked to the end. Okay, this is it. Your final briefing. We're going to cover one last advanced tactic that will make you sound like a total pro. And then we'll review the common traps so you can evade them out in the wild. So, up until now, we've always put the main part of the sentence first, right? Main clause, then the verb kicker clause. Like here, ich habe Englisch gelernt, als ich 10 Jahre alt war. I learned English comes first. And that is 100% correct. Nothing wrong with it. But what if we want to add a little flair? This is the pro move. We can actually start the sentence with the verb kicker clause. Als ich 10 Jahre alt war. Now notice, the verb war is still kicked to the end of its little section. But here's the big twist. When you do this, the very next word has to be the verb from the main clause. So instead of ich habe, it flips to habe ich. It's called inversion, and it makes your German sound so much more dynamic. All right, a quick review of the traps to avoid. Number 1, and this is the biggest one, just plain forgetting to kick the verb. Don't do it. Number 2, mixing up als and wenn. We've covered that, you won't fall for it. 2 other quick ones to keep on your radar. A word called nachdem, which means after, often plays tricks with verb tenses. And finally, don't confuse damit with its cousin zu. That one's used for purpose when the subject stays the same. But now you know what to look for. Okay, enough theory. Time for a live field test. I'm going to give you 2 pieces of intel. Wir hören Musik, we listen to music, and wir kochen, we cook. Your mission is to combine them with the gadget während. How do you say it? We listen to music while we are cooking. It's more subtle. It's more subtle. Okay, enough theory. Time for our live field test. I'm going to give you 2 pieces of intel. Wir hören Musik, we listen to music, and wir kochen, we cook.
Your mission is to combine them with a gadget, während. How do you say it? We listen to music while we are cooking. Think about it for a second. What gets kicked?
And there it is. Wir hören Musik, während wir kochen.
You did it. You took the verb from the second part, kochen, and während did its job, kicking it right to the very end. Perfect. Mission accomplished.
So there you have it. The code is cracked. What seemed like a random, confusing mess is actually a beautiful, logical system, and now you hold the key. These verb kickers are what give German its unique rhythm and structure. You've been briefed, you've been trained, so the only question is, now that you've got this power, what are you going to say first?